Hi everyone, it's Cooking with Anto here. So this week's recipe is fried mac and cheese balls with bacon, and it's absolutely delicious. It is a little labor intensive where you have to start them a couple of hours before you plan on eating them because of the freezing process. But the directions are simple and most of the ingredients you already have in your home to begin with. And I think it makes an amazing appetizer. And I was planning on serving it for my daughter's 4th birthday party in November. I don't think I ever posted the cake that I made for her, so here it is. Now, it's a 3-tiered Hello Kitty cake, all edible. Even the head is made out of cake. The only thing, obviously, you can't eat is the faux jewelry, the bling on the 2nd tier. A lot of F-bombs were thrown when I was making this cake. It was a huge headache, but I had it done in time, and it was absolutely delicious. So the 2nd tier is vanilla, the bottom tier is chocolate, and then I made some hand-piped rosettes for the bottom tier. And then the 3rd tier I molded by hand. It was a Hello Kitty head. This year she wants a Minions party, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be a pretty awesome cake. I'm probably going way beyond my capability on this one, but, you know, I like a challenge. So fried mac and cheese balls with bacon, I'm going to show you how to make it. It's simple, just a little labor intensive. And if you haven't checked out What's on Your Plate on Facebook, they're an awesome group of people. Go look at the group, send an ad request. And also some really good news. I finally created a Facebook page. So if you search for me, Cooking with Anto on Facebook, just click like on the page and then feel free to leave comments and post pictures of the food you make. Even if you've tried some of my recipes, that would be good. I just started it a few days ago, so I don't have many likes, okay? And I'm feeling kind of lonely. So let's get this started. You can also search for me on Instagram, Cooking with Anto 97. All right, so on with the recipe, and if you try it, let me know. And again, thank everyone for sharing my videos and always liking them and commenting on them and giving me feedback. You know, that's kind of what I do it for. Okay, thanks for watching. Let's get on to the bacon, macaroni and cheese fried balls. Yummy. All right, so let's get started. I use a pre-made mac and cheese only because it cuts the prep time in half. And homemade mac and cheese is not something easy, and it's not something that I want to add on to the already labor-intensive process of this recipe. So I use Cracker Barrel because I think that their flavor is far superior for a homemade mac and cheese. And the taste of the cheese actually has some bite to it and a nice sharp cheddar flavor. So I mix it all in when it's warm, okay? I tend to undercook this pasta by about 2 to 3 minutes only because I don't want it to be too soft and fall apart when I'm trying to form the balls. So now all of that cheese from the package is mixed in. So my next step, I'm waiting for the pasta to cool off because I don't want to add in the shredded cheese when the pasta's hot because I want the cheese to remain unmelted. And I do that because when you fry them, if it's already melted, you're going to end up with a very dry macaroni and cheese ball, and I don't want that to happen. So I add in my salt, my pepper, my onion powder, my garlic powder. Now, if I wasn't giving this to my daughter, I would have added cayenne pepper, but I left that out. You can add that in. So again, you put in your shredded cheese, you mix it all up, and you do the best to combine it all evenly. Again, I don't want it melted in this because if I melt it before I fry it, they're going to come out dry. And you'll see at the end of the video what I'm talking about. So here's the bacon part. I use that pre-made bacon because that's all I had on hand. When I'm making this for a group of people, I would more than likely use fresh bacon because there's nothing comparable to the fresh fried bacon. Absolutely nothing. So I'm going to go ahead and mix all that bacon into the macaroni and cheese. Now, again, if you don't eat pork, you could leave this out of the recipe. It's not a must, but it does make the recipe absolutely delicious. And I'm going to mix this up so it's all combined and evenly placed. And then once that's all mixed up, what you're going to do is you're going to throw a top on the macaroni and you're going to refrigerate it for anywhere between 2 to 4 hours. The longer the better. I did this one overnight because I didn't feel like eating them that day. So now I take them out of the refrigerator. As you can see, it's nice and hard, and that's the best way for them to be because you want to roll them in a ball tightly and you don't want them to break apart. And that's why you can't do this recipe if the pasta and everything is still warm. It needs that refrigeration. So the balls are going to look a little uneven, and you just kind of press them in tightly if you see what I'm doing, just to make sure that it's all in one uniform ball as best as you can get it. So you want to squeeze them real tight. I'm talking like way tight so you can pack them in nicely. And you just continue to do that until all of your macaroni and cheese are formed in balls. So as you can see, again, there's still some cheese in there, lots of cheese in there that's not melted. And what that's going to create is when you bite into the ball, it's going to have that stringy cheese effect. And that's why I don't want that cheese to melt in the macaroni when I'm mixing it. Okay, you continue to do that until you're all done. And then I'm going to show you the process of coating them. All right, so here's the egg mixture and breadcrumb mixture. I use an Italian seasoned breadcrumb. So now if you like an extremely crispy crust outer layer, you would double dip them. So you would do egg and then your breadcrumb, then egg, then breadcrumb again. I tend to like it with just one coating. My husband likes it with two, so I double coat his. One gives you just enough of that nice crunch without taking away from the taste of the macaroni and cheese balls. I think if you do 2 layers, it gives too much of an outer crust and it kind of takes away from the flavor, but that's the way he likes it, so that's the way I make his. So you continue doing that until all of them are covered, and then what you do is refrigerate them for about an hour because you want them to set. Now, once they're done being in the refrigerator for an hour, you pop them into hot oil. I heat my oil to 350. You don't need it at the same temperature you would fry chicken or anything like that because the contents of the inside of this ball is already cooked. If you put your heat higher than 350, what you're going to do is you're going to burn the outside of those balls, and you don't want a burnt outer crust. That's just disgusting. I wouldn't be able to handle it. I'm using a deep fryer for this because for me it's easier. You can just use a regular pot with oil. So every once in a while, you definitely want to check them. You know, you want to make sure that they're evenly cooking, and you just shake them around. If you're using a regular pot, you move it around with a spoon or whatever have you. And then if you're using a deep fryer, you let them sit, let the oil drip down, and then you can take them out. I'm going to show you what they look like. I'm going to cut into one first so you can see how deliciously cheesy it looks in the middle. So this is my husband's batch where you can see it has a pretty thick coating on the outside. And these are really crispy. Look at that. One of those balls has the cheese dripping out of it already. It's absolutely delicious. And this is a recipe that you are going to fall in love with. And even though it's labor intensive, I bet you'll make it more than once. So here I am cutting into the macaroni and cheese ball. I just want to show you what it looks like. So this has been sitting for a couple of minutes, but it still has that nice cheese effect. Okay, and you can see as I'm squeezing the cheese, if I would have melted the cheese beforehand, it would have been dry inside. So as you can see, this is the finished product, and this is directly out of the deep fryer. So you can see the huge difference. The other bowl I cut into was sitting there for a while. So that's exactly what they look like when they come out. All right, so, you know, if you guys try the recipe and you like it and you enjoy it, please let me know how it turns out for you. Give me some feedback, leave comments, click like on the video, and always, please share my videos, share my channel, have your friends and family subscribe, and if you have any suggestions or requests, send them over through private message or comments. Thank you, everyone, as always, for watching. Bye.